Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're doing the 1 week update on the 4 different tyre dressings that we applied onto the tyres here on the van. So I actually tried to do this update video at the actual 1 week mark, but we had a fully rainy week that week and I had to drive through, as you can see, on the guard lining from today as well. Lots of muddy roads, and the tyres pretty much, you couldn't see the dressing anymore. They weren't black anymore, but when rinsing them, they were still sort of doing something, because this section here, which is uncoated, was completely sticking with the water and everything else is kind of beading. So I'll show some of the results, I guess, from that, but I wanted to do it again with a proper week of like dry weather, which is what you're traditionally going to use and for your tyre dressings the most. So do a quick walk around, but so this is the Bowden Zone sweet rubber section. So if you look here, you can kind of see the line there of where the dressing is, undressed, and where the dressing is. So generally, if we look here, that's going to be the section where it's not dressed. So coming back, you can clearly see that it's still there. Come over to the back wheel, we've got the Mirch Super Tyre Shine. And this one, you can see it sort of ran a little bit when I reapplied it, but very black. And you can see the control section looking a little bit more dull. So you can see that's still hanging around doing something, looking nice and black. Come around to the other side. This is the Chemical Guys Tyre Kicker Tyre Shine. So this one we're looking for this section here, and clearly you can see the line where it is and isn't applied. This was a very slick, glossy looking one, but it's sort of after a day it sort of leveled down pretty decently. So I think if you were to apply this and to sort of wipe it down to get rid of that initial super glossy, slick look, I think you'd probably like it. And the last one we have is the Turtle Wax Hybrid Solutions Graphene Acrylic Tyre Shine. This one, when I did the 1 week rinse, I noticed it still looked quite, not black still, but the section where it wasn't applied was the most obvious. It's very hydrophobic. But yes, this one we can see, you know, the pretty muddy section here where obviously you've driven in some sort of puddle. It is still quite noticeably black. And then the control section, you can see where it sort of goes. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to rinse them. I'm going to give them a little bit of a wipe to clean, and I'm going to use the blow air dryer to dry them so we can really see how they've ended up at the 1 week mark. Okay, I'll start off with the Bowden Zone section. Go ahead and rinse it. And so yeah, you can clearly see, mind all the grime coming off, the section where that's applied and the section where it's not. It is super hydrophobic everywhere else, and the water is just clinging in that one section. So I'm just gonna grab this little mitt and just give it a very gentle wipe down with just some car wash. Mainly just want to get the dirt and mud off the tyres that have really copped it, and then see if it also, just doing that, takes off the tyre dressing as well, because sometimes you might want to apply one of these, rewash your car, and then have to worry about redoing the dressing every week. So you can see with this one, giving a quick wash doesn't affect it. It is still super hydrophobic, and then it has been able to pull all that dirt off as well. So bring our hose around to the back wheel. Do the same thing, rinse first. So also very hydrophobic for the Mirch. And then in the section that's not applied, not so much. So I'll also give that one a quick wash. Just super gently as well. So just want to see if we can get that dirt and mud off. So yeah, with this one we did get that little bit of section where the product ran down. But you can clearly see the rest of it, just how hydrophobic it still is. So clearly still working, and for looks wise, we'll sort of leave that for after we completely dry the tyre as well, so we can see the difference if it's clearly still protecting, but is it still looking blacker. So move on to the other side of the car now. Okay, so now the chemical guys. Tyre on the back here. I did apply these in the same order that I did in the original video as well, even though they've been reapplied. So we'll rinse this one. So yeah, pretty clearly also still working. So surprising, a week of wet weather, it pretty much killed all of these. Like, they were still a little bit hydrophobic, but nothing like this. So yeah, if you've got a wet week, then don't expect your tyre dressings to last, basically. So you can see this one is also very, very hydrophobic. And then if we give it a quick wipe, my hose is leaking quite a bit, so it'll be quick. Rinse that one off, and it also hasn't really done any real damage to the tyre dressing, still very hydrophobic. And then the control section in the middle there. So that's what the whole tyre is going to look like if you don't have the dressing. There we go. So now my hose is really dripping, so I'm going to be quick for this last tyre and make sure I get a new hose. So the last one, the turtle wax. Fortunately, I didn't have time to fully clean the van. As you can see, it's filthy, covered in water spots and everything. But that's probably going to be good for another video. I've got another new product to test out when I wash the van, so we'll save that. But for now, we'll just do the tyres. So the turtle wax, also very hydrophobic. And grab my little mitt out. Let's get some more suds on that. There we go. Rinse that off. And also, probably a little bit of smearing when I apply this one, but you can clearly see it is still very hydrophobic where it wasn't applied, and very flat where it, very flat where it wasn't applied, hydrophobic where it was. So yeah, I'm now going to, off camera because it's very loud, dry the tyres completely with the blow air dryer, and then we'll have a look at them, how they're looking. All right. We have dried them, go back around in the same order. So starting with the Bowden Zone Sweet Rubber. So, I don't know if you can see that on camera as well, but pretty clearly a line of where that is, where it is and isn't applied. It's like a, so here's the line. It's like a richer, slight shine to the applied section and very even. Whereas here you can see where the dirt that got onto the tyre, where it doesn't have the tyre dressing to sort of protect it, it's made the tyre look dirtier as well. Standing back, it's kind of more obvious, but subtle. It's not a super dark tyre shine, it's more of a dressing, very subtle. But yeah, I quite like that. I just like how it's protected the tyre a lot better. You can see the muddy sections, whereas not so much on the rest of it. So come over to the Mirch Super Tyre Shine. And this one also is quite obvious. You can see the clear difference between them. So very, very black. A little bit more, like a little bit darker. So you can see the line there where it's applied. So yeah, noticeable difference. Probably more like a shinier product, darker, so it kind of is more obvious, I think. On camera probably looks the same, but yeah, so the line you can probably see there. So here's the non-applied section, here's the applied section. May have been pointing the camera at the wrong spot before that actually. I wasn't really looking where the camera was pointing, but yeah, so that's the Mirch. Round to the other side for the chemical guys. So this one, there's our control section. Same thing, it's not really repelled the dirt as much on the applied section. I think because it's more of a greasy, shiny product. It's more probably this is the one that you want super shiny and you want it just to last a week or a couple of days for a show. But this one doesn't seem like it protects as much. Or this could have been the wheel that drove in more mud. But yeah, that is the chemical guys. I'll step back a little bit. You know, you can see the section kind of there-ish where it's not applied. And then the last one is the turtle wax product. So this one we got, clearly I drove into a little bit of mud right where it wasn't applied, but this entire wheel and tyre got pretty dirty. So very can clearly see this one. I don't know if it's coming through on camera as well, but sort of a line about there and about there where it is, where it's our control section. So if we come back a little bit, hopefully you guys can see that. So I don't know which one is my favourite. I kind of think I'm liking the Mirch one, to be honest, but for how it's sort of lasting. But this turtle wax and the Bowdens are probably the ones that I would mostly use. But for a van like this, the Mirch one I'm probably going to start using more regularly. We'll give this another week, I guess. And if I update it, they last another week. If they didn't, this is about what you can get out of them. But yeah, there we go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. It's a quick one. I've got plenty to do with this van, so let me know what sort of products you'd like to see me test. But yeah, that's a 1 week update on the 4 dressings. So let me know what you guys thought. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys next time.